Getting the kind of sleep you want the most is the best reward you can give yourself after a long day at work. Not only does it give you a fresh start to your day, but it also boosts your confidence to make greatness happen. This is why you need Sleepasil, a non-addictive and over-the-counter sleep supplement made with natural ingredients such as melatonin, valerian root, and chamomile. Sleepasil is FDA approved and is available nationwide in Mercury Drugstore, Watson's, Rose Pharmacy, Southstar Drugstore, and Generica. You can also order it online through Zalora, Shopee, Lazada, and Watson's online. You can also visit their website on www.sleepasil.com and follow @Sleepasil on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can never go wrong with your finest sleep. Sleep safe and sound with Sleepasil.
Hello? Hello?
Podcast Network Asia.
Hi, this is Alec Cuenca, and you're listening to Small Talk. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca, and I'm your host. And before anything else, I would like to greet each and every one of you. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time, then welcome to the show. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you go check out the other amazing episodes because we have a lot of amazing insights that you can learn from as well. If you are an avid listener of the podcast, and welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to see all of you guys being invested in self-improvement, okay? As long as we're taking it one day at a time, we're improving 1% better every single day, we're doing fine, okay? So you listening here, it means you're showing up. You're showing up and you want to be invested in your progress. But for the month of September, I have been talking all about self-love. And I've been talking about the different the softer side of self-improvement. In fact, this is the whole topic or theme for my group coaching sessions, the Better Me Project. And we talked about self-love. We talked about rest. We talked about forgiveness. We talked about kindness. And we are going to talk about meditation, visualization, and breathing patterns on Monday. So if you are listening this before the Monday, then go ahead and go join us on the Better Me Project. And yeah, send me a message if you want to learn more about that. Or go to beacons.ai/Alec Cuenca. So you can learn more about my coaching sessions and the different things that I do as well. Now, for today's episode, we are going to talk about one of my favorite things to do in the world, sleep. And it feels so weird saying that because last year, I could remember the last time that I was nearing October. It was nearing October, and I said to myself, okay, it's fourth quarter. Let's go get it again. And so I came into the last quarter of my 2020 and just went out, really worked hard for my goals, for my dreams, and I made it happen, right? But at the end of the year, I felt like I was really exhausted. And so to give you guys a quick fact, one of the only New Year's resolution I had was I said to myself that I would prioritize sleeping. I would prioritize my rest. Because for the longest time, especially in the pandemic, it's hard. It's hard to prioritize our rest because in our workspaces and our personal spaces and our rest spaces are now mixed up, and so we are always working, thinking, planning 24/7, and so we are not setting a good amount of prioritization for our sleeps, our sleep cycle or our sleep schedules. And so I made a promise to myself that I would prioritize rest. And I have been trying for this year. And although there were times that I was still hit with a burnout, with an exhaustion, I feel like I'm doing so much better than last year. And I enjoy sleeping so much right now. I didn't think that I would be able to say that. But right now, I enjoy sleeping. I actually prioritize and put a high emphasis on sleep. Now, to talk more about why do we need to sleep, I read something, a story by the founder of American Apparel. And when he was starting his company, it was a very promising company. And he was a very hands-on guy. So he really wanted to like touch on and micromanage the marketing, the operations, the financial part, every part of the business. And he had this open door policy, right? So anybody from the company, if they needed to talk to the CEO, they would just send him a message. They would send him an email or call him or text him. And of course, he had an open door policy. So every time that happened, he would pick up. At the beginning, that was very promising. That was very exciting. You get to talk to the CEO. There's no manager, supervisor, or, there's less bureaucracy, and they can get direct answers from the CEO. So at first, that was really great. It was doing really great for the company. However, the growth of the company became very fast as well. So it expanded to a lot of different countries and a lot of different companies across the states. Here's the thing. The demand for him grew so much. And he still held that open door policy. But it came to a point that he didn't know when to stop. There was this year that he was sleeping 4 hours every single day. And then the next year, he was sleeping like 2 to 3 hours, even no sleep sometimes. And that led to him making bad decisions, poor decisions. And it even came to a point that he made a part of his office his bedroom. He brought all his sleeping stuff there, all his self-care or grooming materials there in his office, so he wouldn't have to go home. And he would be working 24/7. You could admire the hard work, right? The grit. However, that became destructive for him and his company. In fact, there was a time when his mother went there and tried to convince him to go home. But when she did, it was actually too late. American Apparel was operating on a lot of bad decisions. He was making poor decisions. He was changing his mind almost every time. He wasn't firm with his decisions, and the operations were a scramble, at a scramble, right? So it became the downfall of American Apparel. They filed for bankruptcy. The company really went from being one of the most promising companies to literally one of the lowest companies, or like they're almost at the brink of extinction, right? So we might be going to applaud him. Some people might even admire him for his hard work, right? That's some people here on the internet. We see people saying and screaming and shouting, "Work hard, 24/7. Sleep is for the weak. Sleep is, the cousin of death," some people would say. But that's actually pretty unproductive. Did you know that if you are awake for 20 hours straight, you are cognitively impaired like a drunk person? Of course, when we drink alcohol, it takes away oxygen. It makes the bloodstream not very efficient, right? So our brains are having a hard time maximizing its potential, being efficient because of the alcohol. And that is also same when you don't sleep. So a lot of people might argue, well, I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of things to do. That's okay. Okay, but productivity isn't how many you are finishing. It's more like how great the work that you produce in a certain time. It's not how many, but how great it is in a given time. So if we want to increase our productivity, then we need to take care of our rest. Then we need to sleep. Okay, we need to sleep. Now, sleeping is a very, very powerful tool. First, one thing that it does is it helps to decrease our cortisol level. As some of you may know, cortisol is the fear hormone. And cortisol actually blocks or weakens the neurons in our mind. So the more that we have cortisol in our bodies, the more we would not function at the highest rate possible. So if we sleep, then the cortisol level decreases. One thing that also happens is the cleansing mechanism starts. When we go to sleep, our minds go into the state where its neurons are like shrinked, and it goes through like a washing machine, and it flushes out the non-essential parts of the brain, and that only happens when you sleep. So it's like there's this cleansing mechanism that happens inside your brain when you go to sleep. Okay. The third thing that happens when you go to sleep is you have HGH production. And HGH is widely known as the human growth hormone. And this is responsible for becoming better, for improving yourself. And you may not improve yourself if you have very low HGH production. One way to produce HGH is when you work out, but only 25% of HGH comes out when you work out. 75% happens when you go to sleep. So make sure that you keep that in mind every time you don't want to sleep. Your muscles and your organ repairs once you go to sleep. Helps with your body, helps with your mind, and helps with your growth. One of my favorite ways to distress from a stressful day is a good night deep sleep. That will also help me wake up naturally in the morning, hungry to hustle and make progress again. Good thing I always have my Sleepasil with me, the best partner for a comforting deep sleep. Experience a healthy 8-hour quality sleep every night with Sleepasil, the most trusted sleep supplement with natural and non-addictive ingredients such as melatonin, valerian root, and chamomile. Sleepasil is FDA approved and an over-the-counter supplement available nationwide in Mercury drugstores, Watson's physical stores or online, Southstar Drugstore, Rose Pharmacy, and Genetica. You can also shop for Sleepasil via Lazada, Shopee, and Zalora, or visit their website on www.sleepasil.com. To share your experience with Sleepasil, follow and tag them on their social media at Sleepasil for Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Sleep safe and sound with Sleepasil. I know a lot of you guys might already be thinking, yeah, we understand sleep. We understand that sleep is very important, but we just can't seem to get quality sleep. And I'm all for that. No, I'm not just saying here, go to sleep and sleep 8 hours every single day. I'm here for a push for us to have quality sleep. Okay, so in this podcast episode, I actually want to share with you 5 things to do for a better sleep. And let's start with the number 1. Number 1, sleep pitch black. Okay? There's a reason why our bodies are sleeping at nighttime. Because when there is no sun, there's no light in our area, our bodies think that it's time to sleep. And therefore, it releases the hormone or the chemical melatonin. And melatonin is the chemical that jumpstarts the sleep cycle. It triggers your body, okay, you're about to sleep now. That happens when the light starts to dim, the light starts to go down. So if we actually want to have better sleep, then we need to sleep pitch black. I know some of you guys might be scared, but it's messing up your sleep pattern, your sleep cycle. Why? Because when you want to sleep and then your body or your eyes sense light, it would mislead your mind into thinking, wait, am I going to sleep now or am I going to do something because I can see light? So the melatonin level is not increasing as much because I see light, there's light. That's what the body tells you. So if you sleep pitch black, that's when your melatonin levels will actually increase to the level that it needs to be for you to go to sleep. So that's the first tip. Sleep pitch black. The second tip that I would give to you is get some sunrise during the day. Yeah, this is a fun tip as well. It's because if you get sunrise, it kind of resets your melatonin cycle and therefore your sleep cycle, right? So if we want to get better sleep at night, then we need to get some sunrise in the day. A lot of people that I know have a hard time getting quality sleep because they don't see the sun. And so they're always in a closed, dark room and their bodies are so confused whether it's nighttime or it's daytime. Okay? Our bodies respond to that. So make sure that you get some sunrise, because the lower the sunrise, the lower the melatonin levels you would have. So if you want to just reset your sleep cycle, then it would help you as much if you go out and get some sunrise. Okay. Number 3 tip, the third way for you to to have a better sleep, it's to remove all gadgets. Again, with the lights. Okay, the lights, the radiation from the lights, your mind sees that it's basically time not to sleep because you have a gadget, you have a light there, and so it messes up your sleep cycle. Now, the main point that I want to share with why you need to remove your gadget, it's not well, of course, it's about the sleep, but it's also about self-control. Like, sleep is very intentional. It's not something that you'll do now when you're really exhausted. You just go to sleep. You need to be intentional with your rest patterns, with your sleep. Okay? Because otherwise, you'll prioritize other things. Your attention will go to other places and you won't be able to get quality sleep. So, you gotta understand that you need to discipline yourself. You need to have a certain level of self-control. And so, I ask you that do not put your gadgets on your, don't bring them to your bed. Don't bring them on your side table. Put them on a table far away from you. Okay? This is can lead to some anxiety at the beginning, but this is a game changer. It's a life changer. Because I honestly believe that if we can only say yes to the things that matter when we learn how to say no to the things that don't matter. And if we learn to not give a priority to other people's priorities, right? Their stories, their posts, their emails, that's their priority. And we're always on the verge of checking them out, making sure we respond ASAP. We're prioritizing other people's priority. You need to prioritize yourself. What do you need? What do you care for? And if you need sleep, then you need to prioritize it. You gotta learn how to say no to the things that are not your priority. And that includes other people's stuff on social media. And that can only happen if you try to remove the phone itself. A lot of people, they would say, no, I'll just keep it. I'll just train myself to have control. You won't. You gotta remove the cue. You gotta remove the trigger until you develop this self-control, until you make it a habit that you don't check the phone anymore, that you can do that while the phone is beside you. But until then, you gotta make it far away from you. Okay? No gadgets before bedtime. The next tip, or the next way for you to have a quality sleep, is to sleep 6 to 8 hours. Why? Because our bodies need 5 sleep cycles, and one sleep cycle is 90 minutes. Okay? I got asked whether, will that make up for the naps that we do? Still no. Naps are really helpful. Naps are really great. I also push you to have like 20 minutes nap every time you're tired. That's a long break for you. But there's a certain chemical or a certain way that you can only achieve when you're sleeping in the nighttime. Okay? In the time that you are supposed to sleep in. So one sleep cycle equals 90 minutes, and you need to have 5 of them. So 6 hours is good. Maybe you can extend it to 8 hours. The safest is to have 7 hours. Okay. Now, the last way for you to have a great sleep or a better sleep is to create an evening ritual. Yes, a lot of people are talking about morning routines, but nobody wants to talk about their evening routines. The battle is in the evening routine. It's not in the morning routine. The morning routine is the effect of how you take care and spend of your evenings. So, what is an evening routine? An evening routine is something that you do for the last 3 hours before you go to sleep. Okay, so here's some evening routine deconstruction that you can do. So 3 hours before sleep, you can have your last meal of the day. Okay, don't eat 1 hour, 30 minutes before you go to bed. It's gonna mess up your body's chemical. This is why there's a scientific reason why people don't wake up after eating a lot and then going to sleep. Okay, because our nervous system adjusts, and the blood will be centralized in the stomach, not in the heart, when we need to go to sleep. Okay, so make sure that you have your last meal of the day 3 hours before sleep. Another thing that you can do is to have conversation with loved ones. Even though we're in the pandemic, even though we're spending time with our loved ones every single day, I don't think we're having meaningful and deep conversations with them. So make it an intentional task or priority to have that conversation 3 hours before you go to sleep. It can be like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And trust me, it will change your life. That you won't have that regret. I was so busy spending time to better myself, to improve on my work, but I didn't spend time with the people that I love. You don't want to have that regret. So spend time, make it intentional. 2 hours before sleep, you can go to bath, you can read, you can listen to podcasts. Our brain waves go from beta to alpha and even sometimes theta before we go to sleep and after we wake up. That's why it's important that you read. I think we are more capable in accepting more information, more valuable information, if we do it when we wake up and before we go to sleep. Okay, so you can also listen to podcasts if you like. Now, 1 hour before you sleep, you visualize the next day. You meditate. And this is the strict one, no gadgets, no technology space. It's all about you, yourself, and being mindful where you are, how you're feeling, and what you're going to do for the next day. So that can help you out with building your evening routines. And I'm saying this because sleeping requires transition before. You can't just sleep because you're so tired, although a lot of us do that. But here's the thing. Even if you get like 8 hours, if you sleep with a tired energy or with a low energy, sometimes when we wake up, we still have that low energy, right? So the sleep is not really helping us. Because I realized that the energy that you bring to your sleep will be your energy when you wake up. So when you when you don't rush yourself, you're not in a panic mode to go sleep right now. You're actually calculated and you plan it out. You know that you need to transition. You have to be excited, be motivated, and be inspired before you go to sleep. That's going to be your mood when you wake up. Okay? So ask yourself, how can I build my own evening routine? And hopefully that can help you out. I'm just basically pushing you guys to sleep. So if you're listening right now, plan out your evening routine, plan out how you're gonna spend or make it a habit of taking your rest and sleep more, and putting it higher on a high priority list. Okay, putting it on the higher place on your priority list. Okay, so I pray that you get some sleep so that you can get some peace and that you can love yourself a little bit more. This is a form of self-love. Okay, so if you want to love yourself, you want to take care of yourself, then go ahead and sleep. So yeah, that's going to be all for this episode for today. I hope you learned something from this episode. If you like this one, go ahead and share it with the people that you love on Instagram as well. Don't forget to tag me at Alec Cuenca. And yeah, guys, the second phase of the Better Me project, it's a group coaching project that I do. It's going to be for October to December. So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead to beacons.ai/Alec Cuenca and click on the group coaching session. So yeah, I hope you join us there. We have an exclusive book club as well. We're going to be reading Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty on the 29th. So if you guys can join us there, that would be amazing. So thank you guys so much. My name is Alec Cuenca. This is Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. And I'll talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Small Talk. For more updates, you can follow me at Small Talk Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok. That's at Small Talk Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Podcast Network Asia. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.